Okay, so you've just completed our little cartoon, Frankenstein Paradise Lost, by our friends at Extra Sci-Fi. I would love to say now you know everything there is to know, but that would be a lie. Okay, let's move on. This week for your grammar, you are going to complete week 25. We are so close, I can taste it. The end is nigh. However, the poor decisions just keep coming. I want you to pay careful attention to the story. Snicker as if you were with me in class because this little mermaid is crazy. Leaving everything she ever knew as wonderful and good and chasing after this boy. I just don't understand it. I would slap her silly if she were in front of me. And the prince, his ego is so inflated that when he sees her dance, her beautiful dancing, he decides that she's never to leave his side. And the little mermaid is destined to accompany him on all his traversing or preambulations, as you will. So, Princey Pooh is clueless about anything that doesn't have to do with him and his fabulous hairdo. Woohoo! All right, foreshadowing. I bet you didn't see that coming. Anyhow, okay. I know a lot of you had a question about the paper on the back side of your questions, foreshadowing. You didn't necessarily have to fill it out. If you did, bully for you. That's wonderful. But if you didn't, I just want you to revisit foreshadowing. We looked at this at the beginning of the year. Remember, foreshadowing occurs when the author hints at what will happen in the story. You're reading an actual shadow, if you will, of the events before they happen. Foreshadowing creates interest, focus, attention, or suspense in any kind of story. And on the bottom of that sheet, there's a couple different examples of types of foreshadowing. And here they are. First, we have the most popular, Chekhov's gun. And that's something that is revealed so the reader will remember it later in the story. So the whole rule of thumb for Chekhov's gun is if you introduce a gun in Act 1, it better go off by Act 3. Really easy one there. Word choice. This is huge in Frankenstein. Mary Shelley uses some of the most spectacular vocabulary I have ever encountered. And she does that to give us clues into the storyline. Because she doesn't just say that Victor and Henry walked in the woods. They preambulated. That's so much better. It just gives such a beautiful word picture of these two friends avoiding responsibility and moseying through the woods, smelling the flowers and kicking a rock and picking up the best stick. Wonderful word there. All right, and then we have prophecy. So we see this in Star Wars with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Victor Frankenstein actually prophesies his own ruin several times in the first 6 chapters of this story. If you're familiar with Thornton Wilder's Our Town, a play that I really love, there's the stage manager and he prophesies what's to come. He is the only character in that play that directly addresses the audience, breaking the third wall, and he tells us what to look for and why something's occurring. And then, of course, we have flashback. The author wants the reader, to be aware of events from another time. So this is used frequently with sci-fi, and in movies you'll see this happen. I'm thinking of the Indiana Jones movies. They always had the little flashback to when Indy was a boy. Moving on, symbolism. This is used in allegorical stories. That's a $100 word right there. Well, maybe more like a $50 word, and we'll go with that, half a yard. Allegorical. So symbolism is used often as a type of foreshadowing, and then there's the red herring. The red herring is misleading foreshadowing that will cause the reader to guess wrongly. Who would have thought? You'll see that in stories that you're trying to figure out who committed the murder. You might have 3 different people that you could place the blame on based on circumstantial evidence because the author has thrown out a red herring. So just be familiar with those terms. Look for them in Frankenstein as you read them. If you don't have to take my word for the foreshadowing. You can revisit this fun little clip that we watched at the beginning of the year with Buzz Lightyear and Woody. It was a whole lot of fun. I put it in there for you. You can watch it. So then you can say to your mom, I'm doing my homework, but really you're just watching this fun little video. All right, let's move on. So there's a Frankenstein quiz for chapter 6 through 12. Yeah. There's a quiz. Complete it. So next week is going to be so snazzy because I plan on being over this crud, and you're going to be prepared to discuss your fabulous answers to chapters 7 to 14. I want you to bring all your dating game trivia knowledge to the table next week because we are going to be looking at some fabulous character analysis tools for our favorite characters in Frankenstein. And don't worry, I'll give everyone a chance to talk. You'll have to use your manners, no interrupting. We might even get a talking stick going. We'll also take a look at your awesome posters featuring nature and the weather and how Mary Shelley used those to further her story and bring deeper meaning. If you completed the assignment, you did it right. You know how that is. Listen, guys, I'm sorry that we couldn't be together once again, but I know you're going to have fun watching this little video class, and it's much shorter than our regular class, so you're going to have more time to read thoroughly chapters 11 to 14, and really get a good look at that monster and what he has experienced the 2 years that Victor was just, regretting what he had done, but not taking responsibility for his actions. So listen, if you have any questions, you can email me, you can text me. Other than that, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week.